Welcome to the British Online School podcast, where we are very lucky to be joined by teen author all the way from America, Isabela Lugo. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I'd like to begin right obviously at the important thing, I think. You are a teen author, okay, 15 years old, have a published book. I think the most important thing is, what is your book all about?
So my book, it's called Illusions of the Desert, is about these 4 teenagers who live in this big city and who all go to school together. And one day they stumble upon a clue to a treasure in the desert. And they're very intrigued by what the clue promises they will find at the end of the treasure. And so they go on this big journey throughout the desert, and they learn many things along the way, and their friendship is tested, and they discover so many cool things about themselves and each other and the world. And the story just it's a journey of friendship and loyalty, and all in the end the true meaning of what a treasure really is discovered. And yeah.
That sounds really, really interesting. Okay, and obviously we don't want to spoil the ending. People have to go out and read the book. So I think that's a real nice synopsis of what it's all about. I hope that's the right word. You're the wordsmith, but I think synopsis is the right word to go there.
Yeah.
And obviously with an author, okay, there's always lots of things that go into the book. And really the one sort of massive thing is that inspiration. Where do you get your inspiration from when you're writing your books?
So for my inspiration, I really draw from my life experiences. So me and my family, we've traveled a bunch of places around the world and all throughout America and California. And, I've just learned to look at the little things in life and observe my everyday life and draw experience from everything, even like the people that I meet. And I draw from my life experiences.
Okay, so that's fascinating. So are these people in your book then actually based on real people in your life?
Yeah, a lot of the people, they share the same traits as people in my life and some of the characteristics. And I found it really fun for family members to read the book and notice these things. And yeah.
So is there a villain in your book? And if so, which one of your family members is that based on?
So the villain in my book, there is sort of a villain. They aren't really based off of any of my family members. That one was completely made up.
Of course it is, of course it is. So are there any authors out there that inspired you at a young age when you're sort of reading your books or getting your parents to read the books or at school? Was there any authors that jumped out at you and said, oh, I love what they do?
Yeah, so my inspiration for writing a book, like the very beginning of where it all started, was when I read Harry Potter for the first time. And J.K. Rowling, her writing, it really inspired me that books can do amazing things and can take readers to amazing places. And so the way that J.K. Rowling described and the characters that she built and the story that she told over the course of 7 books, it really inspired me that writing is really powerful. And knowing her story of, the tough times that she went through when she was writing the books, it really inspired me to keep writing when I didn't want to. And yeah, I just wanted to accomplish something that she had, because it was just really inspiring to me, and I wanted to kind of be that person for somebody else.
That's really, really nice to hear. It's nice to hear the Brits are inspiring Americans over there as well.
Of course.
So you were talking about obviously times when you felt like stopping and giving up, but you looked at sort of those inspirations inside you to move forward. When you first started writing this book then, did you plan to publish it? Was that always the journey you were looking at?
So when I started writing the book, I don't think I was looking that far ahead to publish it. I was really writing for fun, as a hobby, as something that I always wanted to do, and then I now had the time to do because of online school. And I feel like once the book started getting longer and longer, and a real story and and a theme was getting developed, then I really thought like, oh, I could publish this. It's getting to that length, and I've put in so much time that publishing would like make sense. And so yeah, but when I first began writing, I don't think I was thinking about publishing it. It was just something that I was doing that I didn't know would like lead up to publishing.
Oh, okay, that's fascinating to know. But you said such an important thing there. I think the fact that you are learning online. Now, obviously, we are an online school, and when we first reached out to you, we didn't actually know you were learning online. It's something we learned as we got to know you, and obviously, you came to one of our assemblies to talk to our students as well, which they really enjoyed. But can you explain to us why you made that decision to go online, and also how that helped you achieve your dream in getting a book published?
Yeah, so I online school originally wasn't really a choice for me. It happened because of the pandemic. But then I had the decision to go back to school when I entered high school, but I chose to stay online because I just saw that I've always been kind of an independent person who likes to work independently and do things on my own time. And online school really helped me with that. And online school, I had more time to pursue things outside of like going to school, and my grades were better online, and I was writing this book, and I had so much time, so I just saw that being on online really had like it was really beneficial for me for things that could help me in the long run. So going to school might be fun and all, but it's like I was able to accomplish so much more important things in my life when I was online.
That's really, really good to know. Now, I think a lot of people, when they hear online learning or homeschooling, they feel like their social life, or their, especially when it's parents, they feel like their child's social life can really be affected. Did you find that as an online schooler?
So with online school, it's like you're obviously detached from a lot of like social aspects of your life. I mean, it didn't really affect me too much. Like I would still keep in touch with my friends a little bit. And I mean, I have a brother, so it didn't really affect me that much. And I know when people are considering online school, that's like a scary aspect to it. But it's not like it's not too big of a deal if you really enjoy online school.
Okay, that's cool. And obviously, you've already mentioned, obviously, you had that time now to, as your online school, you had time to focus on your book. But did you notice any other benefits that you needed to be able to write this book and then obviously eventually publish it that you don't think you would have had in if you were in a public school or a mainstream school?
Yeah, that's a really good question because online school, you really had time to think about yourself and like the world rather than thinking about other people and what they're thinking about yourself or the world. And so it was really beneficial being online to just like reflect, having quiet time to just think. And with like public school, it can be very crazy. Like I did it all through middle school, and I understand that, you know, you really have little time to like really think about yourself and who you are rather than who people like expect you to be like.
Yeah, no, I think that's fascinating, and yeah, it's definitely a busy time, isn't it? School, like no matter what year
Yeah.
you're always on the go, and for some people, they really thrive in the atmosphere, but for others, obviously like yourselves, sometimes it is that quiet time you need, and I think that's important to really consider with online schooling is it's not for everyone, but for those who it is for, it's a fantastic opportunity, and I think you just summed it up really, really nicely there. But let's get back to your books. Obviously, that's the fascinating thing. So you're 15 years old, you're homeschooled, you're writing this fantastic book. Why did you then decide to publish it? Where did that wow moment come to you and go, do you know what? I'm going to publish this. I want to get it published. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, so when I noticed that the book was like at a good length, I had summed it up. I finished writing it. I I looked up on I remember looking up online like how long does a novel have to be, or how long is a good length? And so I saw that my book was at that good length, and I thought, well, I've spent all this time and all this effort and all this energy into a project, why don't I do something with it? And that's where the idea of publishing really came in.
And how did you go about publishing it then? Was there help from family, friends? Did you have to go find someone and discuss it, or was it all able to be done at home?
So for publishing, I really took on the project as my own, and I looked up so many YouTube videos. I read blogs and articles of different people who have done it different ways. I looked into different options and obviously the different costs of those options. And so I went after 6 months probably of research. I went with Kindle Direct Publishing, and that's through Amazon. And it was a really straightforward way for me to publish, and I think it's targeted at new authors who really have no experience in this field, who don't really have a lot of um, experience, and it was just a really easy way to publish. And on their website, it also had a feature for like cover design, and so I was able to design the cover really easily and format the book how I wanted. And yeah, it was just a really straightforward process that I found.
Oh, that's great. And then what did all your friends sort of say? Because at 15 years old, there's all sorts of things going on. There's boys, girls, there's school fates going on. There's all different stuff going on in people's lives. And then you are saying, I've just published my book. What was your friends' responses to that?
My friends, honestly, they were like surprised and happy, and like they were celebrating my accomplishment. But I've always been that type of person who's like always reading a book, or like always, doing my homework at lunch, or like spending hours on my essay giving them advice. So they kind of saw like, oh, Isabella, she published the book, no big deal.
Oh, that's brilliant. So you've got your book, okay, it's all published online. What was it like when you first got the physical copy though? Because that is must be a whole different ball game when it's online and it's on the Amazon store. But then to have that book, the smell of the book and everything, what was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because it's completely different. Like the seeing the ebook published and then getting the physical book published, it two completely different like feelings. And so when I got the physical book, it just felt like really real, like it was so like I had actually like accomplished this thing that was like a physical object that I could hold and that I could smell and I could read. And it was probably the most empowering moment of my entire life, where I saw something that I had worked on for so long, into something meaningful.
And how has that book been received then? Have you read reviews on it? Has people given you feedback? How's that gone?
Yeah, so I've gotten a few reviews and I've gotten feedback, and there was a kid in your class, Raphael, who he really liked the book, and I really appreciated hearing that his feedback. And yeah, it's just really special when I hear that people like have read the book and that they've enjoyed it, because the whole reason I wrote a book is to take people on an amazing journey, just like J.K. Rowling had taken me on. So yeah, it's such an amazing feeling to get feedback, and I've gotten reviews and people seem to love it, and they think it holds great messages. And yeah, it was just a great story overall.
Yeah, definitely. And like we've already mentioned, you did come into one of our assemblies to talk to our students. And yes, Raphael was a very keen reader indeed of your book. And we have had other students now go on and read your book and give us feedback saying how much they've enjoyed it. So yeah, the good feedback does keep coming indeed. So obviously, I know I keep saying it, but you're 15 years old, a published author. What is next for Isabella? How do you top that? Where do you go?
So I'm actually writing another book right now. I've been working on it for a few months now. It's it's like once I published Illusions of the Desert, it really seemed possible for me to like really do anything I wanted with my writing. And so I wanted to create like just another completely different and new story. So I'm writing another book, but it's not a sequel or anything to Illusions of the Desert. Um, I have so many ideas that I couldn't really see myself writing another like story of the same like characters or the same universe. So yeah, I'll definitely be publishing a lot more books in the future, and I'll forever be writing. So yeah.
And is that how you think your writing career will be then, like one-off stories, and you're never going to look at making a trilogy, or at the moment, are you just open and just following sort of your own inspiration?
That's a really good point that you just made, that I'm just following my own inspiration. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to be doing. Because like when I have an idea, I like to just write it all down and make a story of it. And I have so many different ideas all the time that like you said, a one-off book um is like something that would be part of my writing career. I could see myself writing like a series or a sequel to other books, but as of now, not really.
Oh, that's brilliant. Like I said, at such a young age, there's so much possibilities and just so many possible books we could see coming from you in the future. I think it's fascinating. It'll be a really, really interesting journey to watch. Now, before we finish this up, I always ask two questions to everyone I have on, and you're actually the first student we've had on to I can answer these questions. So, what is the best bit so far of school life for you?
The best part of school life for me is I really like, I genuinely like going to my classes because I feel like I'm the type of person who loves to learn. It's not like a chore for me or anything. It's like I feel like with each class I go to, I'm improving myself a little bit more because I gain a little bit more knowledge each time. And my favorite part is just like, because each subject is so different. Like for history, you're learning about the past, and for English, you're learning about other writers. And school is just a way for me to like learn about the world and learn about um, the accomplishments of different people. Like it, I just love learning.
That's an amazing answer. And do you know, from a student to hear that as well as a teacher, that is such a fantastic answer to give. It's really, really nice to hear. It's nice to know we've got some people in the class who are just loving at learning. It's really, really nice to hear. And I'm sure all your teachers, when they listen to this, will be thrilled to hear that as well. So fantastic answer. Um,
Thank you.
so then this is another odd question to ask someone who is currently in school, but I always ask, and I think it would be good to come from someone who has achieved something at such a young age, but if you could pass on any sort of advice to students your own age or younger who are looking to achieve a goal or a dream, what would that one piece of advice be to help them achieve it?
So for school aged kids who are going through school who want to achieve a goal, I think that they really need to find what they're learning in school. They need to find a way that they can apply it to like real things in their life. So if, for example, they wanted to write a book and publish a book, they can use what they're learning in, say, their English class to apply that those tips and those writing styles that they're learning about. They can apply that to like what they want to do. And for example, like I the reason why I wrote a book and I was able to write a book is because of mainly my schooling experience that really helped me. And I feel like kids don't really they don't really get that what they're learning in school can really impact them even now. It's not just in the future. They like what they're learning is actually important, and they can carry those things to the real world. Even if like right now it seems like, why are we learning this? It's like you can apply those things to your real life.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. It's not all about, sometimes it's all about the here and now, but sometimes it's about the bigger picture. And I think that can get lost, especially in the education system. And it's fascinating to hear that from someone who's currently in it. So that's really, really nice. So Isabella, I know there's going to be loads of people who want to know how they can get their book, how they can follow your journey so they know when the next one comes out, and just the general goings on of your life. So where can people find you? And more importantly, where can people find your book as well?
Yeah, so my book is available on Amazon. Just search up Illusions of the Desert. There's an ebook and a print book that you can buy. And if you want to have updates or see different things that's happening with the book, then you can follow my Illusions of the Desert Facebook page.
Fantastic. And we'll link that all below as well so people can come find you straight away. Well, Isabela, it has been fantastic to talking to you. And it was a real pleasure to have you in our assembly. The students loved it, asking you lots of questions, and you gave such great answers as well. And we are really, really looking forward to keeping an eye on you, following your journey. And as soon as your new book is ready, do let us know. Come back on. We can talk all about that as well. Pass it on to our students, so I'm sure we'll all download it and read it all as well. And we really, really cannot wait to see what the future has in hold for you. I'm sure it's fantastic things. And thank you so much for giving up your time to come talk to us today.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure.